The 9 members of our 26th anniversary class of the Dawahares, Kentucky High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. Now let's meet the members of the 2013 class. First of all, Pascal Benson. '13 Hall of Fame inductee Julie Diddy. Julie is coaching with her Middle Tennessee State team today. She's represented tonight by her father, Jack. Hall of Fame inductee Tyson Gay, who is a surprise to no one, is training overseas tonight, getting ready. He's represented tonight by his granddad, Matt Gay. '13 Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Bernie Jenkins. Hall of Fame inductee, the late Roger Klein, represented this evening by the tennis coach at Notre Dame Academy, Rob Harden. '13 Hall of Fame inductee, Frank McClovick. '13 Hall of Fame inductee, Ron Myers. '13 Hall of Fame inductee, Jamie Walls Ritchie. And 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, John D. Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our entire 2013 class of the Dawahares KHSAA Hall of Fame. Jamie and gentlemen, please return to your seats if you would to enjoy your dinner with your friends and family. And we'll see you all in just a bit. Again, thank you all for coming and being a part of this special occasion tonight. You know, we have had tremendous leadership with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. The other thing we've had is tremendous continuity. I'm sure that you're all familiar with organizations or with teams that had a great run, and then all of a sudden there was a leadership change and something happened, and all of a sudden you're saying, well, it's just not like it used to be. Well, the Kentucky High School Athletic Association, I mean, through everything that has gone on in this state and this world, from economic ups and downs to changes in laws to, let's see, to basketball games that moved basketball tournament championship games to Sunday, they've weathered it all, and they've continued to thrive. And I hope you all know that this association is modeled by everyone else in the country. Every year when there's a championship, people from outside of the state of Kentucky come here to see how we do it in the Commonwealth, and we should be very proud of that. And that transition of outstanding leadership has certainly continued. Please join me in welcoming my friend, the Commissioner of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association, Mr. Julian Tackett.
Thanks, Dave. A couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way so we can turn the rest of the night over to the deserving inductees. But I'd like to ask if the former inductees who are back tonight to visit the Hall of Fame ceremony, those of you that are here, other than Jack, we'll forgive you for not standing. But if the rest of you would stand, let us recognize you for coming back tonight. The former Hall of Fame inductees. I see Miss Jeanette back there. I know she's back there. There we go. Thank you all very much for recognizing these people and for them continuing to come back and show their support. We couldn't do this banquet without the work of an outstanding staff. They know that you saw them all as they came in the door, and I certainly thank them for all their help in putting on this activity. As I come here tonight to bring you a few brief greetings, and I look around at the people that were just announced on stage, I can't help but believe that the founders, sponsors, staffs, and visionaries of this great Hall of Fame are smiling right now. Those that are still with us and those that have gone before us would look upon this class as the very core of what we should be doing in terms of recognizing our high school athletic heritage. If you don't believe it, let's take a random quick run through the people of the fantastic range of talent in tonight's class. An outstanding all-around athlete from Western Kentucky who was all-state in 3 sports and has been far too long getting this recognition. A young track phenom who was the second fastest among his own siblings when he first started running and later became America's fastest human. A man who dedicated his entire career to students as a middle school coach, a 3-sport high school referee, and a teacher to young officials. A man whose visions of opportunities for students and a persistent desire for excellence allowed him to excel as a tennis coach and helped restart the state tennis tournament after World War II. A baseball coaching legend from E-Town with more than 700 wins and legions of men's lives that he has shaped. A basketball coach from the mountains of Eastern Kentucky who has worked tirelessly for more than 4 decades to be sure students, even at the smallest schools, had the biggest opportunities. A girls basketball star from Northern Kentucky who, when she was playing and wanted to score, simply couldn't be stopped, and now gives her time and talent to shape the next generation of girls stars. How about a tennis star from northeastern Kentucky who, when she stepped on the singles court against her opponents, they knew they were already beaten? And a longtime coach in track and field and cross country who continues today to give back to the sport and constantly models the phrase servant leadership. Yes, I would say this is one time for sure that we would all agree the Hall of Fame Selection Committee got it right. Neither the KHSAA nor this Hall of Fame can focus on one sport. While basketball and track were our original 2 sports, we must constantly recognize that the association has grown to where we sponsor 40 championships in 12 sports and 4 sport activities. And participants in each of these groups are just as deserving of our time, our talent, and our attention. We must recognize and appreciate the past, but we cannot live there. Today's times are among the most challenging, both financially and otherwise, for our schools and this organization that we have faced. And as the saying goes, it will likely get worse before it gets better. Our challenge as administrators, coaches, officials, and even fans is to keep our single focus on opportunities for students during those short times that they are in our programs. And let's be happy if the adults happen to benefit along the way, because it is about students first. I also can't stand here tonight without another brief moment of recognition and reflection. This hallway is a little emptier tonight. In the last year, we've lost several inductees from past classes. Among them, former Commissioners Lewis Stout and Billy V. Wise. We continue to think about and pray for the families of these 2 outstanding leaders, along with the other members of this hall who've left us since last year. We especially pray tonight for one of the patriarchs of this program who continues to bravely battle illness, the gentleman from the Appalachian Mountains who regularly spoke to you at this banquet, Mr. D. Dawahares, as well as the members of that family. Well, the best tip I was ever given about speaking to a group like this, and I think it came from Buzz, was to make sure you're finished speaking before everybody's finished listening. So I'm hoping I've tried to accomplish that. But I want you to be sure tonight, as we go through the inductions, and look at the variety in this class, the outstanding accomplishments of these individuals, and you will help keep us focused for the future for all kids throughout this state. The students in high school sports today are tomorrow's leaders in every respect: school, community, civic, state, national, and international. Nothing is a better training ground than high school sports, and I hope you and I will pledge that we will continue to do our part. Thank you.
All right, watch your step. Yep. Thank you, Julian. We would now ask the president of the KHSAA Board of Control, Mr. Boyd Randolph, the superintendent of the Somerset Schools, to come forward for some remarks. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Appreciate that, sir. Great seeing you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the KHSAA Board of Control, I would like to welcome the inductees and their guests to the Dawahares Kentucky High School Athletic Association's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The Board of Control is made up primarily of school personnel elected by the various constituencies that we represent, primarily by geography, as well as a number of private and business representatives appointed by the State Board of Education. On behalf of that group, I would like to welcome everyone here tonight. I'd also like to point out that our board has the primary responsibility of providing support and oversight to the commissioner and his staff for the execution of the KHSAA duties and responsibilities that are carried on daily. We take for granted many times what is accomplished on behalf of high school student athletes in our state, and it goes without saying that the work that's done by the commissioner and his staff is extraordinary, and that the time volunteered by the Board of Control is essential for that. So with that, let me very quickly ask the current members of the current board to please stand and be recognized. I know you're out there, guys. And any past members of the Board of Control with us tonight, please stand. Thank you very much. Now back to Mr. Baker.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, before we continue our meal, if you would stand now as we have the playing of My Old Kentucky Home.
Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the old folk are gay, and the corn tops rise, and the meadows are in bloom, and the birds make sweet music all the day. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. And we'll sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away. my old Kentucky home far away.
Thank you all very much. Enjoy the food, enjoy the fellowship, and we'll begin our program in just a bit. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Please continue finishing up if you are, but we know that besides your resources and probably beyond that, your most valuable asset that you have is your time, and we appreciate you spending that with us tonight. And so without further ado, we want to begin the proceedings and honor these individuals who have given so much to Kentucky high school athletics. So now, let's meet the 2013 class of the Dawahares KHSAA Hall of Fame. One of the most well-rounded athletes to hail from Western Kentucky, Pascal Benson starred for Henderson City High School in the mid-1950s. An athlete with natural ability and great versatility, Benson was a standout in baseball, basketball, and football, and is believed to be the only player in Kentucky history to earn all-state honors in all three sports in the same year. He developed a love for baseball and basketball at an early age as a member of the local YMCA, but didn't begin playing football until his sophomore year. During the 1955-56 academic year, Benson led the Henderson City football team to an undefeated season, the Western Kentucky Conference Championship, and a claim to the state title 4 years before the playoff system began. A starter at center and inside linebacker, Benson earned All-Southern and was an honorable mention All-American in football that season. Following that campaign, Benson garnered all-state honors in basketball after leading Henderson City to a 29-3 record and a runner-up finish at the 1956 state tournament, losing 72-68 to Carr Creek in the championship game. As a junior, the 6-foot forward helped Barrett Manuel to a third-place finish at the 1955 state tournament. His all-state selection in baseball came on the heels of a 1956 season in which he went 9-1 on the mound and hit .446 as Henderson City went 18-2 and was a semifinalist at the state tournament. His 9-1 record that year included a perfect game and a victory over rival Henderson Holy Name in the district tournament. Benson turned down a professional contract with the Milwaukee Braves in 1956 to go play college football at the University of Kentucky. A starting lineman for the Wildcats, he received his bachelor's degree in physical education at UK and a master's degree from Murray State. He went on to coach baseball and football at Henderson County. And when Henderson County began its first Hall of Fame program in 1988, Benson was one of 2 inductees in the inaugural class.
I would just like to thank the committee for selecting me, and also my high school coach and a guy that I used to know named Shelby Riggs, who is a sports enthusiast. And he lives in Henderson, Nevada. And he sent out over 400 schools trying to locate some school that had a senior that had all-state in 3 major sports in the same year and never found a one. So he contacted my wife, and she contacted my high school coach basketball, T.L. Plain, and he went to work on getting the induction and everything, and she did most of the work, and that's about it. Those 3 people, and you know, we've been married over 50 years, and she sneaked this one in on me because she worked on it for a year before I knew anything about it, because she knew I would say no. But after she went that far, her and my high school coach working together, then I accepted. My high school coach, when we played my senior year, we played a school that had an outstanding basketball player. And of course, when we went to go on the floor, coach said, "Now you're going to guard him." He was about 6 inches taller than I was. And I said, "Well, what am I going to do? I can't jump as high as he is." And he said, "Well, what I'd like for you to do is talk to him. Tell him how great he is. And just keep talking to him as the game goes on." So I did. I talked to him. Then for some reason, I made a statement. I said, "Now, when you jump up, I'm going to pull your britches down." And it was kind of odd, but it just came. And do you know, the man scored 9 points in the whole ball game. The next night he came out and set the floor record. So we won by about 20 points, but all I had to do is I punched him in the belly and tugged his britches one time, and there's just something that threw him off. That's about the funniest thing I can remember that happened when a coach told me to do it. He said, you know, talk to him, but I just happened to think to grab his britches, and he got to thinking of that, and it worked. He couldn't hit a jump shot or nothing because he was thinking that I was going to pull him down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Pascal Benson. And the medallion is being presented by Coach T.L. Plain. Turn around, get a picture. You guys get a picture right there. There you go. A three-time state high school singles champion, Julie Diddy is one of Kentucky's all-time tennis greats. As a third grader, Diddy won the first of 5 consecutive regional doubles titles, playing alongside her sister, Jenny. She won her first championship as an 8th grader at Lexington Christian Academy in 1993. Diddy later starred at Russell High School, taking home state singles championships in 1996 and 1997. She went on to play 2 years for the U.S. national junior team and enjoyed a standout career at Vanderbilt University. She won 114 matches at Vanderbilt, that's the second most in school history, and was a 3-time All-American and a 2-time All-SEC selection. She was named the Tennessee Amateur Athlete of the Year in 1999 and helped lead the Commodores to the program's first ever NCAA team championship final in school history in 2001. The Ashland native competed for 10 years on the Sony Ericsson Women's Tennis Association Pro Tour and played in all 4 Grand Slam tournaments. She holds the record for most singles and doubles titles on the U.S. Tennis Association Pro Circuit with 32 victories and competed on the 2009 United States Federation Cup team. She was enshrined into the Kentucky Tennis Association Hall of Fame in 2008 and entered the Vanderbilt Athletic Hall of Fame on September 5th, 2009.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the inductees who have been selected into the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the members of the board of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association for selecting me for this honor. Special thanks to Steve Moss, who nominated me for this honor. Thank you, Steve. I'm sorry I'm not able to attend the event tonight. I really wish I could be there. I'm serving right now as the assistant coach at Middle Tennessee State University for the women's team, and we are in Texas this weekend playing 2 matches. So I'm sorry I'm not able to be there tonight with all of you. Kentucky high school tennis has been a huge part of my life. I started playing in the 2nd grade on the high school team. I played for 2 different high schools, Russell High School and Lexington Christian Academy. And I'd like to thank my coaches, Melissa Epling and Carolyn Fannin from Russell High School and Marianne Simmons from Lexington Christian Academy for all of their hard work and support. Thank you. Some other coaches I'd like to thank who've had a huge impact on my tennis career are Todd Wise, Eddie Sizemore, BJ LaHoset. They're all from Ashland, Kentucky. And Kentucky coaches Carlos Strada and Dennis Emery. And my college coach, Jeff McDonald. I'd also like to thank my mom and dad who are here tonight to accept this award on my behalf. I feel so lucky to have such supportive parents who have encouraged me and taught me that winning isn't just a game about wins and losses, but it's about having good sportsmanship. And that's what I'm trying to focus on today with the MTSU players, so have good attitude on and off the court. Last but not least, I'd like to mention my grandmother, who is 88 years old today and is in the hospital right now recovering from surgery, but I'm sure there's no other place she would rather be than to be on a tennis court. She has shown me that tennis really is a sport that you can play for a lifetime. Thank you. I hope you all have a good evening tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Julie Diddy, represented tonight by her father, Jack. And presenting the medallion is her mom, Juanita. Tyson Gay will go down in history as one of the most accomplished track athletes to ever come out of Kentucky. A three-time state champion in the 100 meters, a three-time world champion, and an Olympic medalist. Gay also holds the distinction of being the fastest American ever with a personal best time of 9.69 seconds in the 100-meter dash. Gay scratched the surface of his potential as a prep standout at Lafayette High School following a runner-up finish in the 100 meters as a freshman with 3 consecutive state titles. He improved his 100-meter time each season, culminating with a record time of 10.46 in the 2001 finals, a mark which still stands today. As a sophomore at the 1999 state meet, Gay won the 400 meters in 49.72 and tied for first in the 200 meters with a time of 21.73, but lost in a tie-breaking decision. He finished second in the 200 meters as a junior and ran the anchor leg in winning the 4x200-meter relay. Gay bested another state record as a senior by running a 21.23 in the 200 meters at the 2001 state meet, but placed second after finishing 1/10 of a second behind the leader. He enrolled at Barton Community College out of high school and won the National Junior College Athletic Association National Championship in the 100 meters as a freshman. After 2 seasons at Barton, Gay transferred to the University of Arkansas, where he became the Razorbacks' first NCAA champion in the 100 meters at the 2003 Outdoor Track and Field Championships, helping Arkansas win the overall team title while setting a new school record with a time of 10.06 seconds. Gay has won numerous medals in major international competitions since turning pro in the summer of 2005, including a gold medal sweep of the 100, 200, and 4x100-meter relays at the 2007 Osaka World Championships, which made him the second man ever to win all 3 events at the same World Championship meet. A 3-time U.S. champion in the 100 meters, Gay is a 2-time recipient of the Jesse Owens Award in 2007 and 2009, which is the highest accolade given out by USA Track and Field, and received the IAAF Male World Athlete of the Year Award in 2007. After an injury-riddled trip to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, Gay earned his first Olympic medal at the 2012 London Games, garnering a silver in the 4x100-meter relay after helping the U.S. team to an American record time of 37.04 seconds.
First, I would like to thank the Kentucky High School Athletic Association for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be an athlete and to be from Kentucky as well. I would like to thank all my family and friends, especially Coach Northington and my sister Tiffany Gay, who definitely inspired me to run track and be the man who I am. My sister was a big part of my life growing up. From a very early age, we used to always race from whether it was tree to tree or mailbox to mailbox, from elementary to middle school to high school. And it wasn't until I was 14 years of age before the first time I was able to beat my sister. So she always used to push me, and she always had what I remember to be a fierce start. And I was actually a soul starter. So I used to always catch her at the end, but I would always lose. And they used to motivate me and push me, you know, even considering it was my older sister, she was extremely fast. And I wanted to be faster than her. And I think that's one of the reasons why I am where I am today, because my sister pushed me and she was so important to me in my life. Some of my best memories from my high school career start off as my freshman year. That's when I first met Coach Northington. And when I first met him, I went up to him and told him I want him to put me in the fast heat. And that means I want to run against the seniors as a freshman. So we went to a track meet at Louisville Male, and he put me in the fast heat in the 100 as well as the 200, and I lost. I think I came in 4th place or something like that. And he just inspired me to keep running and keep pushing, and he actually liked my heart. And he just encouraged me to keep going and told me that I have a lot of talent for me to be that close to those seniors. He told me I have a lot of potential. And my other memory, best moment is when I broke the high school record in the 100-meter dash my senior year. I ran a time of 10:46, and I was very excited because I actually broke the record in the prelims, but it was wind dated, so they took it from me. So in the finals, my mom told me just have confidence, you'll do it again. And it just, pray that the wind is going to be still so you can break it, and I done that, and that's one of my best memories. Growing up in Lexington, Kentucky, I really believe that had a lot to do with who I am today, because it's a very humble town, small town, college town. But at the end of the day, I grew up around, going to the racetrack at a young age with my father, and just, I guess, being around speed in general, because my family watched track and things like that, and every kid wanted to be the fastest in the neighborhood, and we had field day in elementary school, and every kid wanted to be the fastest in the school. So growing up in a great town like Lexington, it really made you stay humble. We didn't have the NBA basketball teams or the NFL teams, but just growing up, I would say bleeding blue, just being the type of guy who grew up in the Rick Pitino era and things like that, and all of that really just, motivates you to want to do well, because you see other guys do well and go on and have successful careers. And I just think that I would like to thank everybody in Lexington, Kentucky who supported me. I would like to thank all my teachers in high school, elementary, middle school, who really supported me, especially Miss Pointer. She was my 7th grade teacher, and she really helped my back, and I really appreciate her for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Tyson Gay, represented tonight by his granddad, Matt Gay. And the medallion is being presented by Tyson's sister, Tiffany Gay. One of the state's most decorated officials, Bernie Jenkins, has dedicated nearly 40 years of his life to Kentucky high school sports as a referee, an umpire, and later as an assigning secretary, all for the love of the game. Over the years, Jenkins has called 4 state football championships, 5 state basketball finals, and 5 state baseball tournaments, in addition to countless contests and a National Football League game in 2001. As an undergraduate student at Georgetown College, Jenkins got into officiating as a way to make some extra money, a decision that would eventually develop into a lifetime career path. He began teaching at Georgetown Middle School after graduating, where he coached for 28 years, 18 as a head coach. Urged by Principal George Lusby to get back into officiating, Jenkins returned to football officiating and took up baseball 3 years later. In the years that followed, Jenkins went on to work 9 regional tournaments, 7 regional finals, 7 state tournaments, 5 of those in basketball. Upon retiring from officiating, Jenkins spent 6 years as the JV supervisor of officials for the 10th and 11th region before becoming the supervisor of officials for the 8th region in 2001, a job he still holds today. As a supervisor and a teacher, Jenkins strives to instill in others his beliefs that integrity, honesty, and trustworthiness are the cornerstones of officiating, and that every game should be treated like a state championship. He teaches others to rely on the abilities they're blessed with while maintaining humility at all times. In 2003-2004, he was honored with the KHSAA Supervisor of the Year Award and was inducted into the Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame as an official later that year, having worked 31 regional tournaments, 15 state sectionals, and 5 state tournaments, 4 of those in the championship finals. In addition to working games at the high school level, Jenkins was a longtime collegiate official in football and basketball for several conferences, including the Ohio Valley, Gulf South, and Mid-South. He worked the NAIA National Football Playoffs and the NAIA Men's Basketball Tournament for 8 years, as well as 4
NCAA 1AA National Football Playoff games and the FCS National Championship game in 2009.
Well, I'd like to thank my wife, Trina. She has been with me for 10 years coming up in July, and she has been a real inspiration to me as an official and helping me with a lot of things in officiating. And also Dr. Jake Bell, who recommended me for this great honor. And like, this is something I never thought that I would ever achieve, but I'm so thankful for those two and their part into this. The late Jack and Billy Wise got me involved. The late Commissioner Lewis Stout, who got me involved in baseball and others. There's been numerous ones. Ken Cox. There has been Dave Bear and some of the others that I've worked with over the many years. What probably was my first few years as a varsity official, we used to work in the mountains on Tuesdays and Fridays. Had McDowell at Wheelwright, and that's the first time I've ever been in the mountains as for refereeing for basketball. And you know, if you've never been around mountain basketball, it's very competitive, very, very. It was one of those games where it was not the best officiated game on our part, but it wasn't the best played game. And I'm telling you what, we were lucky we didn't have a brawl. That's the good thing about that. And we tried as best as we could. And this big, robust, fat lady is wearing me out. She started on me in the first game, and I said, okay, I am not going to listen to this anymore. So I heard about all I wanted to hear, so I just turned around and told her, I said, you know what, lady, your problem is you need to lose some weight. You need to get the Weight Watchers, whatever. So, and then she really started wearing me out then. And I said to myself, that's probably not the smartest thing you need to say, especially when you're the only one that looks like you up here and you're in these mountain folks. And I said, so I kept on going. Game's over with. We go to the locker room, and we're trying to get into the locker room, and it's locked. And so the custodian came by. I said, sir, we need to get in this dressing room here. Well, sir, I ain't got a key to that room. He said, that belongs to the athletic director. So I said, well, I really need to get to the dressing room to get dressed to go home. So, well, I'll take you out there and you can get it from him. So I said, okay, take me out there. So he took me out there and I said, can you tell me where the athletic director is? At? Yeah, she's standing right over there. And I said, Lord Jesus, no. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, she's the acting athletic director. It happened to be the big fat woman that I had that told to need to lose some weight. And I said, ma'am, I am so sorry the way I acted. I said, I don't know, maybe I didn't take my medication or something, but I am so sorry. For 10 to 15 minutes, she is wearing me out. And I said, okay. I said, ma'am, can I get in my dressing room? Can I go home? She said, yeah, I'll let you in. So she let me in. On the way back, I get home, I get a call from my supervisor, Howard Rogers. He says, Mr. Jenkins, something you want to tell me? I says, well, Howard, where do I begin? He said, your comments to the athletic director. I said, yeah, I apologize for that. I probably should have said that. But she said, I will write her a letter, whatever I need to do. He says, no, you gotta do that. They got a makeup game Tuesday. And you know what? She wants you to come back and work that game. And I said, do I have to? He said, well, if you want to stay in officiating, you're going to do this. I said, well, so 40 years later, to answer it, yes, I did go back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Bernie Jenkins. And the medallion is being presented by Jerry Kimmel.
One of the pioneers of Kentucky high school tennis, Roger Klein's contributions during more than 3 decades as a coach and contributor cannot be understated. Klein built a powerhouse program at Bellevue High School, where he served from 1942 to 1974. His perseverance led to the establishment of the first state tennis tournament in 1945. Over the years, his players included 3 state singles champions, 5 singles finalists, 4 doubles champions, and 7 doubles finalists. Klein graduated from Bellevue in 1929 and went on to become the captain of the tennis team at the University of Kentucky, where he graduated from in 1933. He began teaching and coaching at Bellevue in 1942 and was instrumental in working with then KHSAA Commissioner Ted Sanford to create the first KHSAA State Tennis Championship in 1945. The state tournament was held at Bellevue until the mid-1950s, with Klein serving as tournament manager. In 32 years as head coach at Bellevue, Klein racked up 419 wins against 98 losses and 29 Northern Kentucky Athletic Conference titles. He coached 3 state singles champions in 1945, 1946, and 1951, and 4 state doubles champions in 1945-46 and 1948-49, as well as 5 state singles finalists and 7 state doubles finalists. His 1961 team went undefeated on its way to the Ohio Valley Team Championship. And in 1962, the school in the city of Bellevue dedicated the tennis courts in his honor. The courts were rededicated in his honor in 1984 when they were resurfaced and still display his name today. Upon retiring from Bellevue in 1974, Klein went on to a successful career as the head men's and women's tennis coach at Northern Kentucky University.
I'd like to thank all the former players at Bellevue High School that made this possible for Coach Klein, especially the administrators at Bellevue High School that took him on as a teacher and allowed him to do what he does. As most of you might know, that he was instrumental in reestablishing the state tournament at Bellevue High School in the mid-40s, and what it has become today is a huge tournament. I think Coach would really enjoy the state tournament these days. We've grown it into a large draw, and Coach was always interested in getting more and more players interested in tennis. So he would definitely like the format that we have. He would also like the team format that we've adapted to here in the last few years. But Coach was always about the more players involved, the better for everyone. There's quite a few stories that I could tell about Coach Klein, and as always, former players have stories. And over the past years, getting with former players, a couple of stories real quick would be, Coach always carried a card in his wallet that had 3 things listed on it about basically his bucket list. And the first one was always to be a great person, who, as naturally everybody knows he was. But he also had on that list at one time that he wanted to own a red convertible sports car. So after he retired from Bellevue years later, he ended up getting his red convertible sports car. But the funny part about it is, as most of you might not know, he wore a toupee. So having a convertible with a toupee could be a challenge. But as far as I know, the toupee never came off when he was driving the convertible. Another quality of Coach was he was a great storyteller, and he could use his imagination so well. And I remember there was a banquet at Northern where he used a clicker, and he imagined that he was showing a slideshow, and he went through this whole presentation, and he would describe these pictures, and it was rather comical the way he pulled it off, but only he could do something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, the late Roger Klein, represented tonight by Rob Harden. And presenting the medallion tonight, Mr. Klein's granddaughter, Cindy Simpson.
Frank McClovick's contributions to track and field and cross country are an important reason why the sports enjoy the nationwide level of respect among their peers that they do to this very day. As head coach at Paintsville and Frankfort, McClovick guided his squads to 5 state championships and 31 regional championships in a career which has spanned over 30 years. A product of St. Joseph High School in Cleveland, McClovick earned degrees from Notre Dame and Morehead State before taking his first job at Paintsville High School in 1972. He became the head track and cross country coach in 1976 and went on to lead the Tigers to 4 consecutive boys Class A track regional championships from 1981 to 1984. McClovick captured his first state championship in 1988 when he guided Frankfort to the girls' Class A cross country title. The Lady Panthers went on to sweep the indoor and outdoor Class A track titles in 1989. McClovick was inducted into the Kentucky Track and Cross Country Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 1992, but was hardly done adding to his resume. He led Frankfort to the girls' indoor track Class A title in 1999 and added a 5th state championship in 2000 as the Lady Panthers won the 2000 Class A cross country title. As dedicated to education as he was coaching, McClovick was named the Walmart Teacher of the Year in 1999. He was inducted into the Kentucky Association of Academic Competition Hall of Fame in 2002 for drafting the first set of guidelines for the Governor's Cup competition, based on track and field meet scoring, as a part of Governor Martha Lane Collins' task force on academic competition. Despite retiring from coaching, McClovick continues his involvement in the sport by working numerous meets at all levels while serving as the executive director of the Kentucky Track and Cross Country Coaches Association, the assistant meet director for the KHSAA State Cross Country and Track and Field meets, and the Mason-Dixon Games, promoting technology in meet management using fully automatic timing and chip timing.
Teaching and coaching is just the greatest profession in life. Every day is a new day. Without administrators' support, that would be impossible. Mike Oder, Larry Montgomery, Albert Wall, Al Osborne, those guys kind of gave me some room to work and do some things, and really appreciative of them. My family's just been wonderful. My wife has been supportive, even when I haven't been looking back when she's supporting me there. My kids, Greg, Annie, and Laura, I've had to be a coach, a parent, a teacher, and every time I had to be one of them, it seemed like I was being the wrong one. My assistant coaches, Adam Donnelly, John Richard, did a super job helping me, along with a number of others that have helped out. Our group of coaches that have really helped me out, Bob Stacy really kind of got me into track and field and cross country, and he was like my first mentor when I first started coaching. And then moving to Frankfort, meeting Gene Wright, the legend of Franklin County, and Gordon Bocock, all these individuals have done tremendous things just to help me out in every way, just so I could do the things I could do. Charlie Reuter with the Mason-Dixon Games, and just showing you how to be an official, like tuck your shirt in, Frank. You want to look respectable out here. So those folks, and they're just willing to help out kids in any way possible, helping run meets and officiating. One year went to St. X's Invitation, which is the biggest invitational to start the year, and had a freshman race. And I usually don't have kids in the freshman race, but I had a pretty good bunch, and I'm kind of pumping them up, telling them, we're going to get to run a freshman race. So we go to the starting line, and we're standing there. And it's about time for the race to start, and there's nobody around. And the kids look at me and say, "Coach, are you sure this is the starting line?" I go, "Yeah, this is the starting line for all the other races." All of a sudden, bang, there's a gunshot. The kids look over there. "Coach, if this is the starting line, why are all those kids running over there?" I'm like, only response I had was, well, I guess you've graduated up to the JV race now.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Frank McClovick. And the medallion is being presented by Frank's son, Greg.
Ron Myers enjoyed a distinguished 30-year baseball coaching career at Elizabethtown High School, guiding the Panthers to 2 state championships and 727 victories. A 4-time Kentucky Baseball Coach of the Year honoree, Myers led Elizabethtown to 24 district, 20 regional, and 5 semi-state championships, and finished as state runner-up on 2 occasions. A prep standout in Elizabethtown, Myers signed a professional contract with the Detroit Tigers in 1958. He returned to Kentucky after a short run in professional baseball to attend to family matters and enrolled at Western Kentucky University. Myers played 3 years for the Hilltoppers, leading the club in hitting all 3 seasons. He earned a bachelor's degree in physical education, English, and science from WKU in 1961 and began his coaching career at Fort Knox High School in 1968-69. He returned to Elizabethtown following the 1969 season and captured his first state championship just 3 years into his coaching career when the Panthers went 28-9 and won the 1970 state tournament. Elizabethtown picked up its second state championship in 1975, capping off a 30-8 season. In 1976, the Panthers put together an impressive 38-3 run under his watch. Following the 1982 season, Myers was named the United States Southern Region Coach of the Year. He was a member of the inaugural class of the Kentucky High School Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 1988. A dedicated educator as well as a coach, Myers retired in 1999, but quickly returned to education by taking a health position on post at Fort Knox, where he taught for 6 more years. His passion is, and always will be, to teach and motivate people to improve.
First, I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Savior, and then my family and my school administration. Without them, if you don't have their support, you don't get anything. And then my mother, who came to my first game I played and was at the last game I coached, which was a lot of games in between. And several players. You no matter what you think of yourself as a coach, you can't win without players. And I had many, many, many players. And also my assistant coaches. Well, we at E-Town had to kind of be really traditional, because I was kind of a traditional guy. I made the players. I didn't make the players, but I got the players to work on the field. And that wasn't because we needed to work on the field. It was because we needed them to take ownership of the field. And the coach, of course, my point was, I told the players early in the season every year, if you outwork me and my assistant coach, then we'll be winners. And it was funny because we had all kinds of jobs for these kids to do. Clean the bathrooms, clean up under the benches and bleachers and all that stuff. But they quit doing that. And I think that is a major mistake, because, like I said, it gives them ownership. And they used to complain to me, "You should see their dugout, Coach. It is such a mess. You need to say something to the coaches coming in to take care of the dugout." And it was, it was pleasing to me for that to happen. We were playing Jeff Davis High School in Montgomery, Alabama, and we had a runner at first, and there was a swinging bunt. The pitcher comes over to field it, and whether he thought he was doing the right thing or not, I have no idea. My player stopped and started back toward the plate. Well, the pitcher threw the ball to the catcher. So they have a rundown now between home and first. And it happened 2 or 3 times. Well, the runner at first comes all the way to third. And the coach is over there, throw it to first base, step on first base. In all sports, there's superstition. And baseball's not limited. And we were playing in the district finals at D-Town, and there was a banner in my dugout by the pep club that said, "Go E-Town, beat so-and-so." And we got beat. And I'm thinking to myself, it was the banner that beat us, because we had never had a banner before. So I took it down. I said, "There'll never be another banner in our dugout." Well, we happened to win and go on to the state tournament in Moorhead. And we're up there, and I look up there, and there's a banner in my dugout by the pep club. So I immediately take it down and put it underneath the bench. And we're ahead 7-2, going into the bottom of the 7th or something like that. And I'm thinking, now that was silly. There's no superstition there. That didn't beat us. So I took it out and hung it back up. We got beat 8-7. So there was never another banner in the dugout, and the banners got me beat.
No banners tonight, Coach. Please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Ron Myers. And the medallion is being presented tonight by Ron's wife, Brenda. Perhaps the most decorated girls basketball player in state history, Jamie Walls-Ritchie set records in her career at Highlands in the early 1990s that still have not been approached 20 years later. A two-time Kentucky Female Athlete of the Year, Walls-Ritchie established 12 state records during her playing career en route to earning Gatorade and Parade Magazine National Player of the Year and Kentucky Miss Basketball honors in 1996. She was twice named the state's Player of the Year by the Associated Press, Louisville Courier-Journal, and the Lexington Herald-Leader, and remains the state's all-time leading scorer with 4,948 points in a playing career which began in the 7th grade. Her 3,872 points scored as a high school player places her 10th all-time in U.S. history. She averaged over 24 points per game for 5 consecutive seasons, highlighted by a state-best 34.4 scoring average in 1995. As a junior, she scored a career-best 60 points in a game against Connor. Among her many state records, Walls-Ritchie is Kentucky's all-time career leader for assists with 1,354, steals 1,004, three-point field goals made 539, and three-point field goals attempted with 1,479. Free throws made 1,131 and attempted 1,393. She is second all-time in state history with 1,762 career rebounds and ranks in the top 10 nationally in 7 statistical categories, including the national record for three-point field goal attempts. Walls-Ritchie guided Highlands to 3 consecutive appearances in the girls' Sweet 16, 1994, 95, and 96, scoring a KHSAA record 121 points during the 1994 state tournament. She went on to star at Western Kentucky University, where she scored 1,044 points and helped lead the Hilltoppers to 3 NCAA tournament appearances. A 2008 inductee into the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame, Walls-Ritchie took over the program she once starred for in 2002 when she was named head girls basketball coach at Highlands.
First off, I'd like to thank my parents, Roger and Janine. They helped me through everything, through elementary, middle school, and high school careers. They encouraged me to do whatever I wanted. They were never the parents that, pushed me to play one sport or, made me go up to high school to shoot after a bad game. And, I really appreciate that now after, being a coach, seeing parents push their kids and, seeing the kids not liking the game because they're being pushed at from their parents so much. So I really do appreciate that, Mom and Dad. Next, my brothers, Scott, Brian, and Jeff, for just everything they've done throughout my career. Always there at every high school game that they could be. Even continuing on to college, they would always be there whenever they could. And, Jeff, for, creating the AAU team my junior and senior year and, being on such a great AAU organization with Jeff. And, my grandfather, he always supported me. He, would help pay for camps. When I went to elite camps, he was always there to help me with that. Next would be my coaches, Coach Higgins, Coach Cecil, and Coach Dobson. They were all my high school coaches that I had at Highlands. Always very supportive of me and, allowed me to do whatever I, could do on the court to help the team. My AAU coaches, along with my brother Jeff, I did play over in Ohio because at that time Kentucky AAU wasn't very good. My teammates, I couldn't have had 4,900 points without my teammates. They were great. They were very supportive of me. And, not that I know of, I don't think anybody really hated me on the court. They always, happy to pass me the ball as long as we were winning. I think they didn't care what, I had to do. But, without them, I wouldn't have had my assists, my rebounds, and all that stuff. So a big thank you to my teammates also. In 1994, we were in the state tournament in Bowling Green, and, we had a hotel right next to the interstate. And, our Coach Higgins, we were big into Rocky, so we would always have to listen to the same music every game, go into the game in his van. Back then, we went in vans. We didn't have buses, so we always went in his personal van or rental vans. And, we always had to have the windows down, blaring Rocky. And at the state tournament, we were and all the fans were in the lobby and in the parking lot. And, there we are just going with Rocky, and everybody's like, what's going on? So, it was kind of neat that, not a lot of people didn't know the tradition that we had as a team, that, we did it before every game, even home and away, we always listened to Rocky. And another thing I think my senior year, that was unusual was, we made it to the state tournament, and, somehow we didn't have hotel rooms in Bowling Green, and we had to stay all the way into Franklin, and, we would have funny times going back and forth because that was a nice little commute. But, we made the most of it, and we did all right down in Bowling Green. Another great story is, when I broke the scoring record, at UC Shoemaker Center, we had, so many people were there, so many community members, so many people throughout the state, a lot of press. That was a great story for me, and, a happy way to break the record with so many people. They were able to move it to UC Shoemaker, so a lot more people could attend the game. And, what's funny is the game before against Ryle, I actually airballed a free throw, and everybody's like, oh, you must be nervous, and I'm not sure what happened to me, but it was pretty funny that I airballed a free throw, but thankfully I was able to break the record at UC Shoemaker Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee Jamie Walls-Ritchie. And presenting the medallion is Jamie's dad, Roger. The personification of the word sportsman and teacher, John D. Wilson dedicated nearly 7 decades of service to impacting the lives of children who may not have otherwise been given a chance. Born in Harlan County in 1938, Wilson played football, basketball, and baseball as a prep athlete at Loyal High School from 1952 to 1956. Given the advice to, quote, get a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, end quote, Wilson got a teaching certificate from Cumberland College and began doing just that as a teacher and coach at Green Hills in 1958. He spent 3 years at Pine Mountain, 1959, 60, and 61, before returning to Green Hills to coach the grade school team while simultaneously coaching the high school team at Pine Mountain. In 1974, he became the head coach at James A. Kaywood High School, inheriting a program that had never enjoyed a winning season. Wilson guided Kaywood to 4 district titles in 5 years. In 1976, Wilson narrowly missed leading Kaywood to the boys' Sweet 16 as his Trojans lost to Clay County by a single point on a buzzer beater in the championship game of the 13th Region Tournament. He went on to lead Webster County High School from 1979 to 1988 before retiring from the public school system in 1988. Wilson didn't stay retired for long, returning to Eastern Kentucky to become a teacher and coach at Redbird High School. In a career that racked up over 500 victories at the high school level and more than 700 wins across all levels, Wilson was named the Cumberland Valley Coach of the Year on 4 occasions and was a 5-time Three Rivers Conference Coach of the Year selection. As someone always willing to go the extra mile, Wilson built a legacy of community service, hard work, and winning at every stop of his career.
Well, this is a great honor for me, and I don't know, I've received more than I've given, really, in 55 years of coaching. I owe a lot of it to my players and my family. We got a real close-knit family, they all mean a great deal to me, and a whole lot to them. And of course, I guess the most important person of all is my wife. She's been with me for 53 years, I believe, of the 55, and Coach's wife has to endure a lot, so I'm really thankful for her. And then I'm thankful for God too. I was talking to some of the players, and there are not many gym rats anymore. They don't want to play and don't want to make a commitment. And I told them I'd missed more practices this year than I'd missed in 55 years of coaching and playing before that. I can't remember ever being absent a day, so I've been blessed with good health along those lines. Well, we were playing at lunch one night, and I had a boy, Johnny Howard, and he lost a shoe right in the middle of the floor. And he was sitting down trying to put his shoe on, and we went up and down the floor 3 or 4 times. We both were fast-breaking teams, and the ball was changing hands and things. And finally, about the 4th time, he stood up, and somebody threw a baseball pass from one end to the other one right down the middle of the floor. And he threw his hands up, and it hit him, and he finally caught the ball, and he drove and put it in Lynch's basket, scored for the other team. So that was a comical thing, too. One night we were playing Pineville at Pineville, and the time was running out, and we had a few seconds left, and we wound up with the ball, and we called time out and set up a game-winning shot. And my best player was Edgar Dean Asher, and he was supposed to take it to the hole and put it in and win the game. But they double-teamed him and trapped him. And my center was standing with his back to the basket at the foul line, and Edgar Dean threw it to him out of desperation, and he took his fist, and he thought it was a lost cause. He looked up the clock, and there's 1 second, and he just hit it, as hard as he could, and it went straight back over his head and banked in, and we won the game. And the thing I hated most about it was the guy that was filming the game turned it off, thought the game was over, and missed that shot. I believe I could have made some money off of that on candid camera or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. John D. Wilson. And presenting the medallion this evening is John D.'s wife, Mary.
I won't reflect in the pictures anymore.
John, stay right here if you would. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd now like to ask all of our inductees if they could come back up here to the stage so we could get a picture. John, you can go ahead and stay. That'll save you a trip.
Anybody wants to come up and get it, feel free. Yeah, if any of the other people want to come forward and get one too,
Yep.
they won't take it. That's not a surprise.
We got everybody. Let me know when we got everybody.
Okay.
Is that it? You're good.
Dave, look at this.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more big round of applause for the 2013 class of the Dawahares KHSAA Hall of Fame. You guys stay right there if you can. Thank you all for coming tonight. You're all welcome to come up and take pictures. We'll also have pictures available at khsaphotos.org. But again, thank you for spending your time here with us tonight and help us to honor these great individuals. Good night and God bless.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.